Today's Friday Flow is going to be about embracing your sexuality and curiosities and self-expression and giving yourself space to do so as an adult or a growing human being that is ever evolving, because we're allowed to change and be curious and change our fucking minds. And I think that's beautiful. So we're going to start with affirmations, follow it with good feeling flow. Let's do this. I'm allowed to want what I want. My desires are natural, healthy, and sacred. I give myself permission to explore. Curiosity is not shameful, it's expansive. I trust myself to make safe, aligned choices. Being a sexual being is part of being alive. I honor the rhythm and wisdom of my body. I do not perform, I express. My pleasure matters. I say no when it's not a hell yes. I welcome partners who are emotionally safe and sexually respectful. I deserve to feel desired without fear. I do not owe my sexuality to anyone. I can be soft and powerful at once. I choose experiences that nourish my spirit and my senses. I celebrate my body for all that it is. I am safe to be seen. I trust my yes and I trust my no. I am not too much. I am deliciously full. I attract people who respect my pace and my passion. My pleasure is not a burden, it's a birthright. I allow myself to feel good. I release shame and reclaim joy. I can be curious without guilt. I am worthy of asking for what I like and what I want. I let go of outdated beliefs about what I should enjoy. That one was so good, I'm going to say it again. I let go of outdated beliefs about what I should enjoy. I explore new sensations with awareness and grace. I trust the wisdom of my erotic self. I honor the sacred fire of my body. I move in ways that make me feel alive. I am in charge of my own sexual story. I listen to my turn-ons without judgment. I attract partners who meet me with reverence. I own my pleasure without apology. I am not here to fit someone else's idea of sexy. I define my own. I let my sensuality unfold in its own time. I am worthy of full body joy. I love how I look, how I move, how I feel. I savor every safe, electric connection. I give myself permission to be playful and bold. I am allowed to change my mind. I am allowed to change my mind. I nourish my sexual self with honesty and delight. I release the fear that desire makes me less spiritual. I release the fear that desire makes me less spiritual. I embrace touch, connection, and intimacy on my terms. I do not dim my fire. I tend to it. My sexuality is not a performance. It's an energy that flows from within. I am deeply rooted in my sensual power. I know how to protect my joy while sharing it. I allow myself to be turned on by life. I am safe to receive. I honor my wildness, my softness, and my truth. All right, Mala Bead, stream of consciousness time, where I close my eyes and just go with the flow. It feels so good to lean into my curiosities about my body and my desires. I love the feeling of giving in to desire when I am safe to do so. I love the feeling of attracting to me partners, singular or multiple, that are safe for me to be around, safe for me to express myself, safe for me to express my desires. I love the feeling of expression. I love the feeling of self-expression in safe places. I love the feeling of knowing that I am allowed to be desirable, to desire, and to express myself. I love the feeling of curiosity. I love the feeling of knowing that curiosity is natural and good for yourself, for your soul. I love the feeling of knowing that curiosity is not shameful. I love the feeling of erasing old, limited beliefs, either indoctrinated by culture or religion or upbringing, and replacing them with beautiful thoughts of release, curiosity, expansion. I love the feeling of expressing myself. I love the feeling of embracing my body. I love the feeling of knowing that sensuality is not specifically sexuality. I love the feeling of knowing that I can have a sensual life of things that feel good. I love the feeling of knowing that sensations are in everyday life, and choosing to embrace a few more than normal is healthy. I love the feeling of feeling good. I love the feeling of embracing what my body wants and desires and is curious for. I love the feeling of being around people who support my curiosity, who encourage me, who celebrate me changing and evolving. I love the feeling of saying no and knowing when it's a full sentence. I love the feeling of attracting people around me that respect that no is a full sentence and do not push further. I love the feeling of my boundaries being respected. I love the feeling of saying yes to myself. I love the feeling of being seen for who I am and what I want. I love the feeling of expressing myself. I love the feeling of listening to my inner knowing, to my inner desires, to my inner curiosity. I love the feeling of expressing myself. I love the feeling of knowing that sensuality is part of life and sexuality is part of being alive for most people. I love the feeling of allowing people to express themselves, express their desires, to express what they want, to express of them being natural, curious beings. I love the feeling of releasing old, outdated beliefs, limiting indoctrinations from culture, religion, society. I love the feeling of creating my own beliefs. I love the feeling of deciding and learning what I like and what I want in my own life. I love the feeling of autonomy. I love the feeling of freedom. I love the feeling of wholeness. I love the feeling of knowing that I am a precious object, and it makes me more whole to treat myself as such. I love the feeling of smiling when I wake up. I love the feeling of waking up in a warm, safe bed. I love the feeling of going to sleep in a warm, safe bed. I love the feeling of waking up in a sanctuary that is my home. My home is my peaceful place. I love the feeling of taking action to make sure that my home is a peaceful sanctuary for myself, for my mind, for my body. I love the feeling of exhaling when I arrive home. I love the feeling of being able to be curious and try new things within the safe parameters of either my home or someone else's space who I trust and care for. I love the feeling of expression. I love the feeling of curiosity. I love the feeling of listening to the little whispers in my head, in my heart, in my gut, of trying new things and evolving as a human being. I love the feeling of changing my mind, and I love the feeling of embracing that change. And if you don't have a visual, I'm going to close this out by putting my palms together at my forehead first. It made me tear up. And think Source, Mother Earth, creation. And then with those palms together, I'm going to move those thumbs to my lips. Thanking or keeping in mind my guides, my ancestors, my protectors, my teachers, people who encourage me to evolve. And then those hands down to your heart. Thank yourself, myself. Acknowledge yourself for this few minutes of time.